everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into Property Queen TV Live with us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And of course, it's a pleasure to have here with us today is Mr. Charles Tan. And he was here with us before. And of course, he's the founder of copyandproperty.com, the CEO of 10 Auctioneers. He's a writer and a speaker. So today we'll be talking about the HOC 2020 and the property market 2020. Hi, Charles. How are you doing?
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
So today we'll be talking about HOC 2020. Now, I think everyone is excited for HOC 2020 because in HOC 2019, it was a great one. So can you just give us a little bit insight on HOC 2020?
Yeah, actually, HOC 2020 and HOC 2019, the purpose is actually the same. So the basic idea is that the property market was a little bit slower than usual. So we want to also clear some of the overhang. We also want the developer to take a little bit of discount and pay profit cut so that people can also own the property. Plus, all those exemptions, now the stamp duty is exempted. You can actually buy a property without spending so much, and actually the savings you can go for a holiday. Even if it's a big value property, actually you can use that money to even buy a car, for example, right? So the purpose is the same. What happens now is that we will need to see whether the sentiment is turning positive, whether people feel that, okay, HOC is now here, so I should buy. Because if you look at how the market has been, right, there are talks that the market is slow because people are unemployed, right? So they were saying, the unemployment rate was going up. Therefore, even if you have HOC, people may not still have the money to buy. There is that version as well. So we will have to depend probably 3 months later to understand whether the HOC 2020 is bringing the effects, the same effects as 2019. Where if you look at how HOC 2019 was, it's very, very clear. First 2 quarters of 2019, the transaction going down. First 2 quarters going down tremendously. HOC come in and everything went up already, right? And at the end of 2019, we actually saw an increase for the second year. Everybody thought that 2019 was the first year property transaction went up. Sorry, it's not. 2018 was the first year that property transaction went up. Very little, but positive, right? 2020 was the second year. So let's see whether HOC 2020 can make it the third year in a row that the property transaction actually go up, right? The chances are a little bit slim at the moment, a little bit slim, but let's see whether HOC 2020 can do it or not.
All right. So what do you foresee in this 2020? Do you think it will be a buyer's market?
Buyer's market, actually, if you look at whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, right, it boils back down to demand and supply, right? So demand will be the buyer, supply will be the seller, right? It's very simple equation, but actually it's not so simple. Because when we look at the viral news, if you remember the viral news, right, people say the property price is going to drop 70%, right? And then everyone's so happy. Wow, 70%, I'm so happy. Of course, the seller are not happy, right? The seller, if I'm a seller, right, I wanted to sell my property. Now there's that viral news telling everyone that the property price will drop 70%. Of course, as a seller, I would be so angry, right? Of course, the buyer will be so happy.
Right.
The truth is, it comes back to the buyer and the seller. Who is more powerful?
Right.
Look at the location, for example. Assuming, right, you are now back in Penang, right? So assuming, let's say in Penang, some of the more popular area will be Pulau Tikus, right? The high-end price per square feet, Pulau Tikus, right? Are these owners, are these sellers in Pulau Tikus all desperate to sell or not? Got or not?
Correct.
Assuming assuming got, right? The whole
Okay.
plot goes assuming got 10 people desperate to sell, right?
Right.
And they say, I want to sell my property at 5% below market. Don't talk about 70%, 5%. When do you think their property will be sold?
I think should be quite quick as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Even their neighbor, you see, if
Yeah.
I'm saying Plauticos, my neighbor wants to sell his unit for 5% below market, just 5%. I will buy because now I would have 2 units side by side, right? For my family members, for whoever that my relative who wants to come and stay next door is the best, right? How can you go to 70%? I want to ask you how, right?
Correct.
And assuming the relative don't want to buy, right? So you ask a relative say, don't want to buy. And all your neighbors don't like you. They also don't buy, right?
Right.
As soon as you tell the real estate agent, you definitely need to tell the real estate agent, right? Real estate agent will be the one who buy if it's 5% below market in a good area, right? So where is the 70% are you talking about? However, now you look, if it's a not popular area, not popular, and you are a desperate seller, 5% got people buy or not? Don't have. If it's not a popular area, because of the current market situation. In a very good market situation, 5% enough to sell, right? In a slow market situation, not so popular area, 5% not enough. Yeah. However, do you need to go 70% or not? That is the question. So end of last year, you know I'm an auctioneer, right? So I knock on the table, you have to pay me money, right? So end of last year, I was auctioning for the High Court.
Yeah.
1 unit of double story terrace home in Puchong. Okay, it was the 4th auction. 4th auction means the first auction is market price. Second auction, 10% down. Third auction, 10% down. Fourth auction, another 10% down. Right? So it is already 30-40% down. Attractive or not?
Quite okay.
Quite attractive, huh? Okay. Yeah.
Right.
5 people bid for it. 5 people. The price they bid. The price I knocked down is a second auction price. You understand? So the price went down, but actually bid, it went back to the second auction price. Second auction price is 10% below market. That's all.
Right.
And we are talking about auction market. Right? And even auction market cannot hit the 70%. And we are talking about all these buyer market, seller market. Actually, buyer market, seller market does not mean anything. If you're an investor, the buyer market or seller market means nothing, because all this will depend on the power of the buyer or power of the seller. And this will depend on whether they are in financial difficulty and the area for the property.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. So we have a question from Jasmine Joseph. She said, because we're talking about sellers and buyers, right? So she asked, does sellers benefit from Penjana?
Penjana sellers, okay. Sellers benefit from Penjana, okay.
Do you think they benefit from Penjana?
Sellers benefit from Penjana. Why not? Because the Penjana, there are a couple of things. There are 3 things in Penjana, okay? So there's one thing called RPGT exemption.
Okay.
Okay. If you remember, right? A lot of the seller actually were very unhappy with the government the previous government, because the 6 year you sell 0 RPGT, right? today, regardless of when you sell, 5% is applicable. So many sellers are not happy. You know why? Because you see, if I bought the property long time ago, the price now might have been 1 million. So you see, if I sell my house now, I would have to be taxed 5% based on 1 million minus 100,000, which is 900,000 times 5%. Gwen, how much is 5% of 900,000?
900,000, 10% is 90,000. Half of 90,000.
45,000.
Right.
Are you happy to give 45,000 away? Oh, 45,000, Gwen, right?
I won't give.
Yeah, you won't give, right? But
Yeah, I
you
won't
see,
give.
many people don't understand that the 5%, it may be big, may be big. And that's the reason why the seller who can hold don't want to sell. They rather not sell.
Understand.
Yeah, and they just throw it empty like that. Even though no one renting, whatever, they still don't want to sell. Now, RPGT exemption. Now, if you sell, even if you say 1,950,000, right, it's almost equivalent back to the tax savings. Or if my area is popular, I sell at 1 million, I save 45,000. Crazy or not? Crazy, right?
A bit crazy.
Yeah,
yes.
I will go for a holiday with my whole family and everywhere. So does it benefit the seller? Definitely it will benefit the seller, especially seller who have a property that he wants to sell. Now is a very good time to sell. And if it's in a good location, now is even a better time to sell. Because now many people are holding, especially those who can hold their holding, right? So not a lot of properties are in the market. I mean, for the good location ones, definitely will benefit the seller. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to know, do you think this HOC campaign is suitable for people with low income and low mortgage loan capacity?
Yeah. Okay. So whether the HOC got or don't have, right? Low income a household would need to do something about their low income household, right? So if you look at the how do you say, the opportunity to buy a property, the HOC basically enhance the savings. However, if you cannot qualify even after the enhancement of the savings, right, you still don't qualify. Yeah. So technically, the situation has not changed whether got HOC or don't have HOC. What buyers need to understand, what these low-income family or even people who cannot afford, let's say, a 500,000 property yet, have to understand is that the property that you buy should be a property that enables you to save on rental, for example. Right? So if you're able to buy a property whereby you don't pay rental, now you pay mortgage, for example, right? And you can afford it. Let's say a 200,000 apartment, for example, right? So in Penang, a 200,000 apartment or a 250,000 affordable apartment, which is available today. That would be a good decision to do. Do not look at HOC as the reason, I should or I should not. Yeah. Everyone must understand, in the world, not just Malaysia, in the world today, one major reason why people stay poor forever is because they have no property. So property causes poverty. The reason is very simple. The argument that, hey, Charles, you don't understand. Now rental so cheap. Why I buy? I buy, the mortgage is even more expensive than the rental. I agree. I agree, right? It's like in Penang, for example, right? You buy a 600,000 property today. At maximum, you probably can rent out 2,000, right? So that means your mortgage is by far higher than your rental. right? And this is true
Right.
also for KL actually. There are not many cases where you buy 400,000 property and you can rent out at 2,000 plus. That doesn't apply, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what happened is that people now think that, hey, renting is cheaper, I don't need to buy. Misconception, because you will have to retire one day, right? One
Correct.
day
And then you need
will
a
have to
place to
retire.
stay.
And then you need a place to stay, right?
Right.
And when you retire, your income stops, right?
Right. Correct.
Your rental stops or not?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't stop at
So you
all
see,
because you still need to continue paying.
yeah. So you see, your rental will never stop because I have not found any owner who tell the
Right.
tenant, "Aya, you rent from me for so long. Now you retire, I let you stay for free lah." Go on now.
Don't have no free lunch.
Don't have, right? So
Right.
everyone, think a little bit ahead and you understand why renting is not a good long-term option.
Okay.
If you have just moved to a city, first time, move to one new city, right? Rent first, don't buy. Because you do not know the area well. You may not like this area, you know. After you stay for 3 months, you may not like the area. Don't buy.
Correct.
If you're in a new area, stay for 6 months. Understand if you like, understand if you don't like. You can move to another area and stay another 3 months so that you have a comparison and you buy later on, right? Now, that is called a good decision. But if the decision is to say, rental so cheap, mortgage so high, I don't buy, all the best to you, lah, right? You better work very long. People retire at 55, you better retire at 75, for example. Yeah. And you know, Malaysians, unfortunately and fortunately, the fortunate part is Malaysians are living longer. Right?
Okay.
So for a lady like you, probably you will live to 80, probably, right? We retire at 55. Where are you going to find the 20 years of rental?
Correct.
Of course,
EPF all cannot.
no, please don't rely on EPF alone. EPF is good for your daily expenses. Okay?
Right.
If you rely on EPF for your rental, you won't have enough because you see, just a 1,000 rental, 1,000 rental. Assuming today the 1,000 rental stay the same until 30 years later, stay the same, when you retire, the rental, it is still 1,000, does not change, right?
Yeah.
1,000 times 12 is 12,000.
Right.
Times 20 years is 240,000.
Correct.
How many people's EPF got 240,000?
Don't have lah, not many.
And that is just to pay rental, Gwen. You need to eat, right?
Correct.
You need to
you need to your petrol,
assuming you want to walk every day, you just want to walk. You don't want to take car. Every day you want to walk. You still need to eat. You still need to drink. You still need to pay for electricity. You still need to pay for your water bill. Come on, guys. Think a little bit ahead. Yeah. This is why property is compulsory. When you look at the financial management, it is compulsory. Not compulsory to no, not compulsory. One is definitely compulsory. Now will provide free stay for every retiree. As soon as you retire, you get a free stay. Okay, fine. Then continue renting. Hope to say that.
Correct. So in regards to this, how do you think to make an investment to earn money?
Yeah.
Like you've mentioned.
Yeah. So we come back to is salary. That is funded. Then you go to the, if you don't have enough salary, no enough savings, then you go to the next stage, which is investment. Okay? So everyone needs to understand the reason why people get trapped is because they skip the steps.
Right.
Yeah, so you know some of the courses, they tell you that you can get rich quick. You just sign on this paper, you get you buy this property, you get 50,000 back. So how do you get more money? You sign more papers now, right? One property 50,000, 4 properties 200,000. Wow, so happy, I'm so rich, right? Later then you understand, right? when you get the keys, right, then you understand.
Yeah. Correct.
Right? So go back to the fundamental, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we need to go back to the fundamental. One of the first book that I read was by Azizi Ali, right? In the book, the first few pages, he said, if you earn less than 2,500, close this book and read it later. You understand?
Understand.
He has the same thinking. Focus on the first part. If your first part is your salary, if you say, my salary is not enough, do something about it, right?
Correct.
You can do Grab, you can do YouTube video, right? You look at all the YouTubers, right? There are so many of those stories that these people are even poorer than us, right? But they become so successful with YouTube because they put their effort, they put their hearts into it. Simple.
Right.
Salary first, savings second, investment third. And of course, to protect all these, you need so the insurance investment. Yeah.
Okay, so for most of the Malaysians who are overseas, because in Malaysia, some of them, they feel like, my salary very low, so I go overseas to find opportunity, to find the cash, right? So once they find the cash, I think they would want to come back eventually to Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
So if they are interested in purchasing any property lah, I would say, let's say at this current moment,
Malaysians. As long as you are still a Malaysian, you are entitled. Right? It's only the hassle, the view. I mean, you won't be buying a property without at least understanding where the area is, the things like that, right? Of course, some of the things you can get your friends or relatives to help you. But people working overseas, it is usually the advanced economies. And if you are working in the advanced economies, go and understand their property market. Because once you understand their property market, you will understand that in the next 15 years, Malaysia, for example, if the property in Australia, right? Sydney, for example, the median property price is 1 million Aussie dollar. Yeah. What is the trend for the Malaysian properties in Kuala Lumpur? Think about it. We are talking about median property price, right? So what happened is that if you intend to earn money there, therefore, if you want a higher potential return, you should invest your money in a more developing place, not in an advanced or in a stable or in a mature kind of economy, right? So it is a very good decision to really think about it, because many years ago, someone in Penang, right? So I was based in Penang 15 years.
Right, correct.
And tells me that it is best to in Penang only go to Singapore, right? I asked this person, Penang is economic in economy, right? Everyone knows. So I asked him, hey, how far do you think Penang is behind Singapore? He said, wow, very far, very far. I said, how far? Give me number of years. He said 15. 1-5. I said, you have just said the reason why you should invest in Penang and not Singapore. You understand or not?
Understand.
Because if you say Penang in 15 years will reach the stage of Singapore, you better invest now.
Correct.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like
totally
it's like
understand.
you already know that this particular stock in 15 years will be like that stock, that very awesome stock. Why you want to buy that awesome stock? You buy this stock now lah.
Yeah,
You yourself said it, right? Yeah,
Correct,
your
correct.
money will be triple, will be quadruple the 15 years later. It's as simple as that.
Correct.
This is investment. Go back to the basics. Don't think too complicated. Example, many years ago, right? When Proton was still a listed company. Okay, so today Proton is no longer listed. Many years. So my sister told me, "Hey, go I want to buy a new car." I said, "Oh, new car? What car?" Proton Saga at that time. The BM model.
Right.
After she told me, buy every time, go and buy Proton 50 cents, something like that, right? Because I see so many Proton Saga on the road. 6 months later, Proton announced their quarterly result.
Okay.
Sales went up because everyone was buying the new Saga, not Iswara, that new Saga.
Right.
And the price went up to 3 something, which I sold a few, and then went up to 4, which I sold more. And then in the end, DRB took over and had to sell everything. But you understand or not? It is not something magical. It is just going back to the basic.
Right.
You go to a hotel, right? You see, wow, this hotel so nice. Wow, so many people staying. Wow, it's fully booked. Go online and see whether this hotel is listed or not. You can buy the hotel shares, right? This is investment. You go to a new area, less property investment. Rather than you go and ask the property agent, hey, that one good property or not? Which property agent selling their property will tell you, no good.
Correct.
Go back to the basics, guys. Go back to the basics.
Right. Correct. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that people won't say that the thing is not good. That is right. Totally agree with you. So we want to know, coming back to this property market for 2020, right? Do you think that if someone were to purchase a property under this scheme for the purpose of investing, how long will they need to wait until they can make a profit? Since we are talking about property investment as well.
Yeah. So again, we come back to the basic. When we talk about investment, right? Investment. One of the people said investment should be as exciting as watching the grass grow. How fast do the grass grow?
Grass not that fast lah.
Not that fast.
Quite slow,
slowly, right? Slowly.
Right.
But grass is very, very strong. Even the ground which is hard, grass can grow. Even when it's sandy, grass can grow. Yeah, right. So what this tells you is that the investment, if you already found the right one, it will grow, but it will take time. So if we intend to rush it, right, property is not the correct one. There are a few kinds of assets which are more liquid. Property is not liquid. You want to buy a property, assuming, right, today you sign the papers, to the day you get your keys, many months later, it is not I sign today, tomorrow I get the keys. Doesn't work that way.
Correct.
Many months later. Even if you want to sell, you say, oh, property price went up, I want to sell. From the day you sign, you want to sell, until the day you hand over the key, wow, very, very many months later.
Correct.
This is property investment, right? Understand that first. So if you intend to go into property investment, 2020 you buy, 2021 also you may not sell yet. Everyone. So if you intend to look at property investment, you also have to look at the state of the economy as well, right? Now, economy this year, 2020, is likely to be a negative. Likely, right? Unless something spectacular happen, otherwise, most likely will be a negative number, right?
Understand.
Look at 2021. All the predictions are pointing to a positive number. Whether it's a positive small number, whether it's a positive big number, does not matter. No analysts are saying 2021 is negative yet. No analysts. Then you look at 2022 prediction, and then you think a little bit. If COVID-19, the vaccine is found,
right?
What would happen to the economic growth? Continue lah, right?
Right, correct.
When the economic growth continue, what happens to people who have jobs? More jobs lah,
right?
Better salary lah,
do better, yeah.
Do better, more businesses lah, right? When more business,
correct.
better salary, whatever, what happens to the stock market? Go up lah.
Stock market, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So when the stock market go up, everyone happy lah, more money lah, more profit lah, right? However, when the stock market go up to a certain level, people take profit. Where do they put the profit? FD 2% FD. Actually, I have no idea why people want to put FD at the moment lah. Right. Unless you are really conservative, super duper conservative. Otherwise, FD is really too low already. 2%, right? If you put in property, the returns, even if you assume, right, the property price only increase 1% every year, your return is still going to be super.
Correct.
Going to be super. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So think of it as a long-term decision, and you'll be just fine. Think of it as a short-term decision. Skip property. No, don't think property. 1 year, 2 year, even 3 years, not property. Yeah.
Correct. So we have a few questions about property price and property investment. So I'm gonna just shoot it at you first,
Okay.
So we have Miss Catherine Ho. She asked, "What are your thoughts on the property price in the coming 6 months or so?"
Yeah, the property price depends on the area, but generally, the property price should show a decreasing trend. Should. The reason is because of the HOC. Right? So if we assume the HOC is going to be successful, that means the transacted price should be lower than the current price. You understand? Because HOC, in order to qualify, the developer have to reduce by 10%, minimum reduce by 10%. Yeah. So if you look at the trend during the HOC, it has to go down. Because if it doesn't go down, it only shows that no one is taking up HOC lah. Because if a lot of people are taking up HOC, the general number should downtrend. Not a lot, but should downtrend, right? Of course, everyone must understand the HOC is at this moment is for new properties. Yeah. New properties comprise of only 20% of all transactions. New properties. Actually, secondary market is the lion's share, 80%, right? And that is why you will not see the property price go down by 10%. You will not see it. Because the HOC, even though go down by 10%, that is only 20% of the market. You understand? Yeah. So it may show downtrend because the 10% is big lah. It may show a little bit downtrend, but it depends on the secondary market. If the secondary market hold very strong, then the downtrend is likely to be a little only. Yeah.
Understand.
And the
Okay.
question comes back to the power of the buyer and power of the
Buyers.
seller. Yeah.
Right.
And the
Right. Buyer
power
and
comes
seller.
from location, power comes from financial capability of the person, right?
Right.
You usually,
Right.
if you ask
Agree.
me, every couple of weeks, I receive SMS message from real estate agent who ask me whether I want to sell my condo in Penang or not, right? Or my or condo in KL or not. I always reply,
Yeah.
just for fun, I always reply. And I give him a price which is out of the ordinary one, right? And the real estate agent never reply me back. Yeah. Because the most of the owners that buy, the bank already qualify them in the first place. In Malaysia, if you don't qualify for a loan, you will never get the loan. You understand or not?
Understand.
Yeah. If the qualification at that time was very, very easy, that means anyone, you want to lend, you want to borrow, here's the money. You want to borrow, here's the money. If at that time it was like this, today all the owners will be in trouble. All.
Right.
But
Correct.
at that time, it was not like this. If you can qualify for 2,000 loan, you apply for 2,000, maybe you won't get it one, Maybe, right? But if you can qualify 2,000, you apply for 1,008, yeah, the bank will lend you. So these people actually qualify, which means that if there is an uncertainty, for example, the person can still hold on for a while, right? How long can they hold on? Well, that would depend on individual. But generally, 2 months, yeah, they can hold. They can hold. Plus, the moratorium already helped all these people not to have any financial difficulties until end of September, right? So assuming they can hold only 3 months, they can only hold 3 months. The 3 months start from September, not now.
Okay.
You understand or not?
Understand. Yeah, understand.
So 2020 unlikely to have any drastic changes.
Okay. So just now you mentioned that secondary market is 80% and new projects are at 20%. So maybe just want to ask, because I think I also don't understand. Maybe some of the people also don't understand. So does HOC like help the secondary market or not at all? Or only just helping the new properties?
Yeah, so you see, why HOC is needed is because they want to push transaction. Okay, why transaction needs to be pushed is because the overhang numbers is so high.
High, yeah.
Very high,
we have
right?
a problem. Yes, correct. We have a problem with
So
overhang
you
property.
see, this is about a sentiment. Yeah.
Right.
When everyone thinks, ayo, so negative, so negative, so negative, nobody does anything. You understand or not? Right?
Okay, understand.
However, if the people say, hey, HOC, good deal, let's buy. Now imagine more people buying. What happened to the overhang number? Starts to go down.
Correct. Yeah,
And
decrease.
when overhang number starts to go down, what happened to the sentiment? Not bad moving I better act now. Otherwise, later I cannot catch the train. Right?
Correct.
In the real world, this is called herd mentality.
Okay.
So it is so important to start the ball rolling. HOC is supposed to start the ball rolling. Yeah. If you want economic term or financial term, it's called a catalyst. Right? It will never be the most transaction one. If the most transaction in the whole market is due to HOC, we are in trouble already. Because HOC is first property, the primary property, that's only 20%. So if no matter what HOC does, right, it is only 20%. Yeah. It will never help the overall transaction number. But the HOC help in sentiment. It's like
okay, understand.
It's like I wrote a recent article. I wrote about three groups of people. 3 groups. First group is people who can afford to buy. okay, can afford to buy, upgrade their home, for example, right? Because of sentiment, they will delay their purchase. They need a bigger house, for example. But you look at the current situation, they are worried. They say, I better wait lah, better wait. Right? They can buy, but they still wait.
Right.
Second group of people will be people who is looking at property as an investment. Right? These are not the people who buy the second. These are the people who buy the fourth, fifth, sixth. These people can buy. But if the market is not so good, they will also say, never mind lah, I invest somewhere else first lah. My money so easy, I can invest here, invest there, right? This second group of people. The third group of people will be the first time home buyer, first time. Right? Oh, I saved so much money already. Now I can buy. First time home buyer, scared or not? When they buy the first property.
Scared.
Wow, very scared. Oh, I tell you, very, very scared. You know, property. So do you think, which of these three groups will buy first?
I think the first group of people.
Yes. The first group and the second group. Yeah. When the first group and the second group buy the property, transaction moves lah, right? The third group of people, save already, you see, got people buy, they come in lor. And which is the biggest group? First time home buyer is the biggest group. But the first time home buyer is the most worry of all, because they are unsure, it's their first time, you know, they have never bought anything with a few 100,000, right? Even if they bought a car before, that car is probably 50,000, 60,000. Now they are buying a 400,000 thing, you know. Wow, so scared, right? And this is why the first two groups of people must start the journey. Because when the first two groups start the journey,
they will influence the third group.
The third group. Yeah, and the third group is the biggest. Same as HOC. HOC is not the biggest group. The secondary property is the biggest group. But HOC will be a catalyst to start the ball rolling.
Yeah. Okay. So with this said, right, how many % you think the HOC campaign can help buyers during the second half of 2020?
They can help because the stamp duty savings is quite a lot lah. So even if you buy a let's say a 500,000 property, for example, the savings is enough for you to go to South Korea for 2 people. Yeah. So the savings is quite a lot. Seriously, it is quite a lot. If you already are thinking about buying a property and you're thinking about buying from the primary market, HOC is really that chance for you to buy a property and go for holiday at the same time. Right? If you buy next year, there's no HOC, so you can only buy the property, no holiday. Yeah, because the savings technically can allow you to go South Korea. And you know, Malaysia is now thinking of opening up to certain countries, right? Korea is one of them.
Right, correct.
That's why I use the Korea as an example, because we may be able to fly to Korea very soon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about it.
So after this, we all go to Korea for holiday lah.
I think if they only open Korea, definitely people are going Korea lah, right? Japan is not open, you can't go Japan, right? Yeah.
Correct. True. So I think with that, right, HOC is starting to look quite positive for this year for home buyers. So we have one question from Nachwa. She asks, is there any minimum starting price for the developers who wants to participate in this campaign?
There are no minimum starting price. There are no, but the requirement is that you must reduce it by 10%. Minimum 10%. You can reduce more, it's up to you, but minimum 10%. Yeah. And this basically is to help the whole market lah. And this cannot be just to help the one who wants to buy below 400,000. It doesn't work that way also lah. It also doesn't work that way. HOC needs to be broad enough to push the transaction. Yeah, because if you are too narrow and then you try to do and then it fail, everyone will think, you see, market is bad, market is bad. Actually, that's not a good policy also. Yeah, a good policy is one that is wide enough to cover enough ground. Otherwise, too narrow is not good for the market.
Okay. So for the developers who are participating in HOC, are they already selected developers, or are they free to join HOC? Like, I haven't registered yet. Because as I know of is they have to register with REDA, right?
Yeah, correct.
To be able to qualify for HOC.
Yeah,
but if say I'm a new developer and I have a project that I want to sell on HOC, so I have to register with REDA, is it?
Yes. So you have to register with REDA, and it's unit by unit. Right? So for example, development A, right? Development A, 600 units, right? Yeah. Doesn't mean all 600 are under HOC. The developer can apply, let's say, 30 units out of 600 units under HOC. Yeah, the application is by unit, not by development.
Okay.
So the 600 units, so they say, I have HOC units. Doesn't mean all 600. It might be just the 30 units. And then must register unit by unit with REDA.
So with that said, meaning actually for HOC, there's quite limited units only, not like a lot, like everyone think, I got a lot. So it's like considered quite limited lah.
It depends on the developer. For example, right, if developer have 500 units and they think, surely I can sell 300 units even without HOC, they won't offer 500 units. Because the 500 units that they offer, they have to give discount. If they can sell the 300 by themselves, they would sell the 300 units by themselves. They only offer 200 under HOC to clear the remaining 200. My line issue or your line issue? When? Gwen? Is it my line or your line? Oh, it's Gwen, is it? Not me, Okay, so what should I do? Continue talking, is it? Because still online, right?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can already.
You
Sorry, let's continue.
okay? Sure.
Yeah, my teeth is green, but yes. Raman, please. Raman. It's so funny because we suddenly putus.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's change place. We are funny right now. Okay, sorry guys for the technical error because something went rookie by HOC 2020. So let's go to the comments directly now, okay? So we see that people are asking us, Najwa asking, is there any specific criteria to those that wants to apply for this HOC campaign 2020?
As in developer, is it?
I think for buyers.
For there's no special requirement for buyers. There's no.
Mm-mm.
So as long as the property is offered under the HOC scheme by the developer, anyone can buy it. Yeah. This is not just open for first time home buyer, because as you can see, it is applicable for properties up to 2.5 million. I'm not sure how many first time home buyer can actually buy a 2.5 million property. That's certainly not me. Right? Otherwise, all the money gets stuck there. Yeah.
Correct. So there's one more from Mohammed. He asked, does this campaign cover nationwide, even for Sabah and Sarawak?
Yeah, so it depends on the HOC property being offered. For example, in Sarawak, it will be under Shida. Sabah will be under Shareda, right? So
Right.
yeah, so whatever is applied and approved, you will be offered, and you can buy. It's not just in Kuala Lumpur or Selangor. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you just somehow wants to buy a property in a small town and it's under HOC, sure, yeah, but not all developments are under HOC, yeah, because like I mentioned, it depends on whether the developer feels they want to offer or they don't want to offer, right? If they already know that their property can sell, they are not likely to give you a 10% discount just to go into the HOC campaign. It's like, I ask you, if you have no financial difficulty, would you want to sell your property 10% lower? Definitely no, lah, right? Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about the people in our country, like B40, M40, to protect the B40 and M40 market.
Yeah, so I think we are talking about the two different things here. One, we want to help the market to move, right? Protection, if you want to help the B40 or the lower end M40, for example, if you are afraid that the B40 would have lost job, may not have the money, you should have programs to help them directly. For example, if the B40 really have no money to even rent a house, then the housing subsidized rental should be provided to them, right? For example, a normal unit where they can stay, and the monthly rental is only 100 ringgit, for example, right? That is a totally different scheme altogether. We should not lump HOC into like a Superman or save everything. Not possibly, right? So for specific, what do we want to do? HOC help the market transaction to move, right? You want to help the core poor with their rental, then there should be a program for the core poor to help their rental, right? Like the PPR flats where the rental is 100 ringgit, where the rental is 50 ringgit. Yeah, those kind of program altogether. So everyone must not lump everything, because HOC cannot save the world, right? HOC can only save the transaction. That's what it was meant to be.
Correct. So do you think for these people, since they might have the money, but going through right now, the pandemic, and then some people lose their job, and then they're still in the B40 group and all that, right? Do you think on this campaign to get their own property?
So it depends on the person. If you're currently already paying a rental, it may be good to look for the suitable property to buy where the mortgage is almost equivalent to your rental. And it does not need to be from the primary market, everyone. It does not need to be from the primary market, right? It can also be from the secondary market, right? And the secondary market does not mean that you only look at the very new market in a slightly further area in a nothing wrong, right? Because rental that you're paying right now, it's best to have your own home. Why are you paying rental? Because paying rental, no matter how little, nothing comes back to you. Nothing. Yeah. However, if you are worried, and you currently already own one home, for example, already, right? You are staying in the apartment or a flat. You're already staying in one, right?
Correct.
It is best to understand your financial background first before you decide. Because if we are talking about investment, it is a big thing. It is not, that's not wrong. How long can you hold on? Right? Keep paying. How long can you hold on? All these are decisions that is beyond just a yes or no, right? And only the person would know. That is the reason why this is not a yes or I should buy, because there's a 10% discount or more. I should buy. Actually, it's not that kind of decision, right? That kind of decision of yes or no will be the first group and the second group that I told you about. Yeah. The people who already have a home, then they are now thinking, should I upgrade or not? Right? The people who are investing in a lot of things and they now think, should I get more property or not? That would probably be a yes and no lah, right? But if our foundation is not that strong, then this is not a yes and no question. This is a yes if whatever, no if whatever, right? The if must be there lah. So all the due diligence have to be done. Unfortunately, when it comes to investment, no way to run, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no way to run.
So I think after what we've been through for the past few months, coming to our recovery movement control order, this sector I can see with HOC and all that. So other than that, what do you see coming in for the next half of 2020? And then do you see any changes once we hit 2021, maybe the first quarter of 2021? What are your thoughts?
So what happened is that the government is not just pushing the property market, right? Property market, even if you push until you go crazy, the property market still won't go crazy, right? Actually, what the government is now focused on, or should be focusing on, is how normalization can happen faster. Okay, normalization means we go back to the period before COVID-19. You still remember last year our growth was 4 point whatever percent, right? This year it was anticipated to be around 4 point whatever percent. So normalization means how soon can we go back to the 4 point whatever percent kind of momentum, right?
Right.
And this is the focus. So, for example, how to allow more shops to open safely, how to ensure all these shops when they open, if there are infections of particular area or that particular cluster, right? Because you cannot 19. So all the other states also close. That doesn't make economic sense also, right? You are going to kill the economy. One state still got COVID-19. Right. And that's exactly what every government is doing. You know, there's even the talk about a travel bubble. You know what is travel bubble or not?
No.
Yeah. So travel bubble is if your country is safe from COVID-19, and my country is also safe from COVID-19, and my country is also safe from COVID-19, three of us are next to one another, we can do a travel bubble. That means I can travel to your place, you can travel to my place, right? So basic idea is we are helping each other's economy. That's the basic idea of a travel bubble. And that's also part of a normalization, right? Shops are not fully open yet. They are still being reopened. Manufacturing are not fully open yet. They are still being reopened, right? Even barber also not fully open yet. They are still continuously being reopened. All this must be the then all these HOC or all the new Panjana focus, all that will be icing on the cake. But you need the cake first, you remember?
Right.
If we don't have the cake, we only have the icing. Wow. Where do you want to put the icing? Just eat the icing. So all this, the focus to me is not on HOC. The focus is on how to normalize so that we go back to pre-COVID-19. That's the when they can start building a fundamental for the next stage.
Right.
Yeah, right now we are property market lah, the stock market lah. Yeah.
Correct. So I see, like I guess like today we've learned more on HOC as well as property, and of course what we should do to actually get back to where we were, get back to our feet.
Yes.
And you see with today's technology as well, like what we have just experienced earlier, even if technology is good, there's also the downfall of technology. So I guess everything there's a high and a low in everything. So once again, I do apologize for the sudden line drop, and we do apologize for the technical errors, everybody. So sorry, and so sorry to you, Charles, as well. So you've been waiting for me. Thank you so much for being so patient. So before we say goodbye to our audience for today, is there anything else you would like to share with them?
Anything else? Actually, I just want to reiterate lah. When we look at financial management or personal finance, it has to start with the job that you hold today, right? Salary that you earn today, that is the start, right? If we do not make it strong, the salary that we earn today, if we don't make it strong, there is no savings. When there are no savings, there are certainly no investment. Yeah, everyone need to understand that, because too many people are too greedy, that they skip the salary part, they skip the savings part, they go directly into the so-called investment part. By the way, if there's no salary, there's no savings, the third part is not called investment. It's called speculation. And with speculation, you either win big or you lose everything.
Correct.
Yeah. So that is a very important message that I just want to tell everyone again, right? Read more, understand more, right? If you want to read about property, Copy and Property is definitely good. Property Queen is definitely where you must continue to refer, because they are solely focused on property. If you want to understand about stock, then you should read about the stock market, right? What is value investing? What is this company doing? Why did the share price go up? What is the underlying asset value? What is a net tangible asset, right? All these terms, if it's unfamiliar to you, don't buy share yet. Think about it, right? And if it's property, then understand what are the limitations of property, which is first one, everyone must know, is that it's illiquid. Buy today, get keys few months later. Sell today, also get few months later, right? This is the thing about investment. If you do not know, it's not called investment anymore. It's called speculation. And if it either win big or lose big, that's called gambling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Correct. It goes out to all of you youngsters out there, especially the Gen Z and Gen Y, because to us we feel maybe lifestyle is more important than having savings,
Agree.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe the savings part also, like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
So yes, I hope everyone take your advice from Mr. Charles today.
Yeah.
Please save up. You
Yeah.
need money. You need to save first before you can buy anything.
Yeah.
And
And don't
if you
save too much, by the way. Don't save too
uh,
much. Yeah. You should, if you already save quite a lot, you should
mm,
use some of the money to go and enjoy. You know, the issue with the previous generation was that they saved so much for the kids that they actually did not get to enjoy, right?
right.
That's also incorrect. Ladies and gentlemen, you must enjoy some of your earnings, right? Saving for your kid is one thing. Saving like crazy and not enjoying at all in your whole life, that is another thing altogether. Yeah. So
Right.
don't focus too much on just saving. It should be a balance. Few countries. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for
Thank you for
being with us
inviting
here today on
me.
this beautiful Saturday, Charles. Thank you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please go to copyandproperty.com, because Charles, he writes everything there. He has lots of articles and blogs. His thoughts are all there. Want to know more? Please go over there as well. He also has some knowledge on not only just property investment but also on stock investment as well. So just go and check him out. Okay, copyandproperty.com. We will definitely tag his page on our comment section. Just go ahead there and click it. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Charles. And of course,
you.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. And we're so sorry for the sudden line drop, but do tune in again next week as we have other guests as well joining us
Wow.
on
Cool.
PQTV Live. Thank you so
Okay.
much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Charles. Have a great day. Bye.